So hi, Austin Adams, Chairman of the Business Board of the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough Combined Authority. I'm here today in Soham at the Eastern AgriTech Innovation Hub, and I'm here with Lydia, who's going to tell us a little bit about what goes on here and some of the great advantages that have been realised.
Yeah, so we've been here since 2015, seems like the day before yesterday, and we have lots of small to medium-sized companies, startups, and they're working with us or perhaps even independently, and they're particularly concentrating on waste reduction in farming, especially in horticulture, and in valorisation, which is to say ways of improving the value of waste products. So we're here NIBE is here to run the place and to help where we can, and to provide a sort of an incubation centre for them to build up their innovations.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. The other, obvious observation here is not just the jobs that have been created here on this site, but the potential for those technologies to evolve and scale up and bring with them, a whole army of employees and new businesses around the UK to commercialise them and exploit the benefits. I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, I think it's a real driver for jobs because it's not just the actual businesses themselves, but because it's very close to what agriculture wants and needs and horticulture, so it pulls in interaction with the farmers, and we've got a lot of very innovative farmers around here. So, the kind of interactive farmer business researcher kind of really works here. And I think that's why this part of the east of England has become such a hub for this sort of activity.
Yeah, there's some amazing projects I've seen here today. And, it's mind-blowing to think of the scale of some of these opportunities that these small businesses have in front of them. And very encouraging to see NIBE playing a part in holding their hand to get them to that point. What do you think are the greatest challenges that they face going forward?
Gosh, so I think getting hold of a little bit of funding to go with their idea is obviously the thing that they first worry about. But once you've got that little bit of funding, probably the next key stumbling block is really taking that up to pilot scale. So taking it from the lab to a small pilot and then positioning it that it will go somewhere which is economically feasible. And I think that's the challenge. And we can help a lot with the kind of technical end. And to an extent, we can put them together with the farming community, which is quite often their sort of endpoint customer, and just sort of point them in the right direction. So we like to get lots of help from industry leaders and those that can give much better advice than us on finance, for example. But I think that getting them in the right direction and pointing them, and then just giving them the help and the encouragement, really, to get them over, I think some people call it the valley of death, don't they?
Yes, indeed.
To the point where you can actually get a commercial endpoint and really start to deliver some in the marketplace.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. Also interesting to note as you walk around talking to the individual SMEs that most of them have a story to tell that were it not for this incubator, that they really wouldn't have had anywhere else to go to develop their technology.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think, there are incubators all over the country, but mostly they tend to be a little bit focused on quite high tech. So somebody needs an office, they might need a little bit of a lab, but here we've got tractor sheds, we've got access to the fields and polytunnels, and so you can do something a bit larger scale, and really look at that sort of taking it from the lab into pilot scale. So yeah, I think there should be more like us. And some of our incubatees say, if it weren't for you, I don't know where we would have gone.
Fascinating day today here. It's interesting not only to see, the potential financial return on the investments that have been made here, but to see firsthand the people that have been employed directly, the potential for some of the projects that have been invested in here in terms of their future scalability and their benefits, not only in terms of continued employment as those technologies are rolled out, but some of the environmental benefits as well that could flow from some of these investments. It really is quite breathtaking, and all credit to NIBE and the team here for their management of the investments and the support that they've offered to the SMEs to get that to work. Also fascinating to see one of the intangible benefits of the networking that goes on by creating a facility here where we can have a number of small SMEs working on perhaps unrelated technologies that cross-pollinate and find opportunities to leverage each other's skills and expertise and technologies. And there are a number of great examples of that here. As I say, all credit to the NIAB team. Fabulous piece of work, a great investment.